Thank you for tuning in. This is Robin Martinelli. I own and operate Martinelli Investigations, and this is my podcast, Beyond Evidence. And the name of this podcast is going to be Dragon Conned, like a con person. Hoping everybody had a peachy week, and we are here with our not so new anymore private investigator, Norma Jean. And Norma Jean, this was probably one of your most interesting, and I don't even want to take the storm away. I don't want to take the con away, but you did such a fantastic job. But I bet you were really, really, really exhausted.
Very exhausted. It was a long 3 days.
And Dragon Con, how many people do you think went to this? Because it was 2 hotels.
It had to be
in the thousands?
Thousands, at least 5. Probably more.
You think 5,000 people?
Oh, yeah. They had taken up 5 hotels.
5 hotels?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
3 of them were like the main hotels.
Yes.
And then there were other ones that people stayed at.
Yes. And you were following a supposed cheater.
Yes.
And was she difficult to find? At first, I think she was difficult, but after that...
Very difficult. Going through 3 huge hotels, people in costumes.
What type of costumes did you see? I saw the pictures. Nothing against Dragon Con. But... And she didn't even dress up.
No, not one time.
She didn't. That was probably what stood out.
Not one time.
Right.
She had on a T-shirt and jeans and an apron with her alcohol in each pocket.
Yes.
But no dressing up.
No.
Because the pictures we had of her were her dressed up in these outfits.
Oh,
so that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
And then when I finally found her, I was like, there she is.
Yeah, like a needle in a haystack. Because
it was.
She'd already been there. And we didn't know hardly the room. We didn't know hardly anything. But she became very friendly with you.
Very. We hit it off immediately. All with me walking up and saying, can I take a picture of your T-shirt? That is hilarious. And it just went from there.
Well, in the state of Georgia, you're allowed to do audio recording and video recording as long as you're part of the conversation.
Correct.
So you and another investigator decided to follow her everywhere. And although we don't condone smoking, she went out there a lot to smoke.
Yes.
And that was one of our clues, is she would go out near her patio to smoke.
Yes. She stayed out back at this one particular hotel.
Right. And so she traveled a long ways to get there. And she said that she had an ailment.
It was her back.
Supposedly.
Yes.
Yes. So we don't know what she was doing there, or if she was collecting insurance or not. We just don't know. But that being said, she invited you to her room. And I know that you had a hesitation, and I know the other investigator kept the door open because we don't like to go in. But I think you went in to go to the bathroom or something, and you filmed all of this stuff.
Yes. She needed help to the room and asked us to go with her.
Because she couldn't walk that well.
Correct. So we went into the room. She opened the door. I have never seen a hotel room like that in my life.
Almost like a hoarding situation.
Yeah.
Like she was living out of there.
Yes.
And she was supposed to be, quote, quote, working too, remotely, supposedly.
Yes. She did have a little area with her laptop.
Right. And
so
she could have been working.
Yes, because she had just become a travel agent.
Gotcha. And she was offering you some travel tips.
Yes.
But I've got to know, obviously, I, Robin Martinelli, would have stood out a lot, I guess, with my either bouncy leg or my other leg. But physically and mentally, you got thrown into this, and you handled it like a champ, like it was your second breath. And I know that you didn't stop. I didn't stop till like the 3rd day to kind of crash and recoup. But that whole, talk to me about the adrenaline.
It was crazy. But you're also in a environment where the adrenaline is, everybody is just hyped up. So you look at it, okay, I've got to fit in here. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and I don't dress up in anime costumes. So how am I going to fit in? So that's the main thing, is it's like you're almost an actress for those 3 days.
You could have put your tennis outfit on.
Oh, no, I brought a Barbie outfit. I brought a pink jumpsuit, pink sunglasses, and I was Barbie for the day just to fit in.
And the other investigator was Ken.
He was in his normal clothes. He was like, I am not dressing up. I said, well, I've got to look at least somewhat of something.
And it wasn't cheap.
No.
Wasn't it like $300, $400 a piece?
Yes.
To get in?
Yes. Yes.
And everybody was, they weren't like a Fruit Loop, but they were
Yes.
Fruit Loops in a Cheerio bowl.
95% of them were Fruit Loops. I'd never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, nothing against Fruit Loops. I love Fruit Loops, especially with the marshmallows. But it was wild. And all I could do is, like, parking was one place. We had to find y'all hotel rooms. You know, y'all had to, I think, go home and come back.
Yes.
And
we went home for a day and then came back that night.
Right.
The last night.
Right.
And what was so crazy, she was parked in the same parking garage as us.
Wow.
She didn't park at the hotel. She parked down the street at the same parking garage.
Wow. Don't you get just mesmerized how there's no coincidences, but everything happens and it seems like a coincidence?
Yes.
In cases, they don't run together, but they are like, wow, I did this on one case, I did that on another case. So as not a newbie anymore, but as a private investigator, I mean, you didn't choose this field. I chose you. I did. I chose you. And in choosing you, like, what has really motivated you or excited you or made you care about the job and the license and what we do?
And it's because you care for the people. You build a relationship with these people that come in. They need us, and they need us to do our job. And so that's really the motivation, is getting the job done for these people that come in. And most of them, you know that, Robin, it's a very difficult time for them. And most of them just want somebody to listen. And somebody to hear their side of what the situation is.
Every other phone call, is it not somebody getting scammed or conned?
Yes.
I mean, take Dragon Con aside. I mean, you're talking about, and we can only take one or two of those cases.
Yes.
Because they've already been scammed and they've already been conned.
Yes.
I think our highest was over $500,000. Remember the gentleman, over $500,000?
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I literally, the only thing we could do for him was for that person to start harassing me. And they ended up doing that. And we sent them a cease and desist.
I remember. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's other cons. Catfishing. You know, the number one thing about catfishing, have you physically met this person? Like, in person? Like how we used to date?
Right. And 10 times out of 10, the answer is no.
Right. And I'm not going to FaceTime, no. But to physically meet, and don't remove them from this jurisdiction, because what if they're lying about how old they are with a fake license or something?
Right.
So you want to check them out. We get just as many phone calls for background checks on just your normal person that is harassing you as a neighbor. So how many background checks do you think we do a month?
We do a lot.
I'd say some months we could probably do over 300.
I was going to say.
And if we add in the cases, easy 500.
Yes.
Easy. And when we testified in court the other night, it was interesting to add up all the cases. That was an average for our other investigator that's been here longer than you, that all the cases since I think 2015 is almost, if you add up 300 to 500 cases a month, depending on what they're, almost 10,000 cases. And that's a lot.
That shocked me. I was like, wow.
And that was on an average.
Yes.
Because we literally went through the computer, some of them big, some of them small, some of them, so if you even take the 10,000 back, an easy 8,000, easy, since he's been there. So can you imagine how many cases I have handled?
No.
Since 1998.
No.
I mean,
we need to get that number.
And we can.
Yes.
Because it'll be very fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because our little system didn't start till a certain time, but it'll be very fair. And I love this job. I can't help everybody. I can't make everybody happy. I do the best I can, but I like it because ultimately it's a process that my client goes through that helps them go through that process from front to back. That's why we give them the journals. That's why we custody cases are the hardest. That's why we get trash. That's why we record everything.
Right.
And our goal is to hopefully not have to go to court. But as you see, you had to come to court the other night because there was literally a person that said they'd never met me. And,
correct.
And I'm like calling you at single parent, grandparent that you are, calling you and saying, look, we may have to go to trial tonight. And I may have to put you up on the stand to say not only did we win, but not only were you there, you actually got the snacks of her child, and the child was there too.
Right.
And that just shocked me because we went to mediation, and that just totally shocked me. Like I'm sitting here, I know who you are, I've met you twice, and you're literally telling this mediator you've never met me at all, ever. This is the first time meeting me. And you pointed out on our client worksheet that I had marked on it.
You wrote on the intake. Yeah,
the intake sheet.
You wrote on the intake form.
Right.
So I was like, how is she saying she's never met Robin when Robin was there for the intake?
Yeah, I think you thought I was punking you when I called you and told you to come up to the courthouse.
I really did.
Because I knew that you were off. And I'm like, no. And this is why I beg y'all to have a wardrobe already in the car. You never know when you may have to go change from flip-flops, t-shirt, swimsuit to a suit.
Right.
A literally suit.
Who would have thought night court?
Of all places, too, night court. So not only did we win, okay, because both of her situations were dismissed, I actually won my countersuit, which was a bill that she owed. The look on her face was like she just... because I can't make everybody happy, and you're going to have some issues with your own company. But I truly want to take this time to, really appreciate you as a person, as an investigator, a private investigator, and all the hospital issues that I've had. And you stood up to the plate, and you took everything. You just really helped me and Doug a lot, and you're as close to Doug as I am.
Oh, yeah. It's my brother.
From another mother.
From another mother.
And, Doug loves tennis. Like that. Be married to Robin, tennis. I don't know. But that being said.
We do know, but.
Yeah. And shout out to the wonderful husband of 25 years. Did he not go get me some pearls?
He did great.
He did.
He had a little help, but
he did.
It's okay.
And then he got his green egg table.
Yes.
Yes, which looks wonderful too. But you really stood up to, you took on tasks you didn't have to. And for that, I am very grateful. And you're only as good as your employees or your subcontractors or your contractors. And it really means a lot that you punched right in there. And
right, it's what you do. I mean,
right, and
you couldn't do it.
This is not a 9-to-5 job.
No.
And as a matter of fact, it's past 5 o'clock because you record people and their human behavior, and they may take you to Florida or take you somewhere else, and you just don't know. But you have really helped out a lot. Before we go, is there anything else that you want to talk about Dragon Con?
Oh, no, it was just...
I probably won't make you do it again.
But it wasn't as bad as you would think. It was just different.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Oh, yeah.
It's like me and the other
Fun people.
Me and the other private investigator. We were like, where do you see that many people together, drinking, having a good time? We saw not one argument, not one fight, nothing. It was just a big party.
Every year.
Every year.
At the same time. And they have their own hotel rooms for like 5 years booked.
Yes. Yeah, but
So
they
you
just
can't-
were a large group of people that just had a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but we uncovered the con.
Yeah,
And
we did.
She did get caught, and she did get caught with. All of that being said, it's still an ongoing case, and we really appreciate you coming on to Beyond the Evidence.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody out there in podcast world, have a super peachy day. Please contact us by our website, martinelliinvestigations.com. Martinelli ends in an I. Investigation starts with an I, so that's 2 I's with an S on the end. Our email is MII, and then Georgia spelled out, GeorgiaPI @gmail.com. And please call us anytime at 770-337-3999, 770-337-3999 for a free consultation. Thanks so much and have a great peachy day.